Now joining the Believe in NFL Draft Prospect podcast, got Mr. Arquon Bush, was a star defensive back out of the University of Cincinnati. It is just absolutely absurd how many Cincinnati defensive backs keep coming out of this program over the last couple of years, man. You talk about Ahmad Sauce Gardner, obviously last year, Kobe Bryant, Javon Hicks was a really talented player as well. Arquon is a young man that has experience, played a lot in the nickel early in his career, played a lot more outside this year, obviously, with Sauce and Kobe off to the NFL. But Arquon, appreciate you for hopping in, man. How's everything been going? How's the draft process so far for you?
Appreciate you for having me. Everything's been going smooth. I'm just taking everything day by day. Just that's all you can do at this moment because we got to wait until the end of April.
Yeah, man. No, I know. And it's so funny, man. We are now, I can't believe April snuck up on me, man. I'm like, we're only a few weeks away now from the big day. So, Arquon, before we get into too much of the draft process, man, because I know you've been busy. Obviously, you were at the East West Shrine Bowl out in Las Vegas. You were at the Combine. You did the Pro Day a few days ago. So, you've been a busy guy, man. But I really wanted to ask just a little bit about Cincinnati for a second, man, because, I mean, I kind of hit on it in the intro, but the defensive talent that you guys just continue to put out on a year-to-year basis. I mean, I could talk about Sauce all day, but even guys like Darian Beavers and Ivan Pace this year, right? And Myjai Sanders, and just a crazy amount of defensive talent, especially Brian Cook last year as well. What's it like to be a part of that pipeline that you guys are building, man, as far as just a lot of NFL talent on that defense over the last few years?
I would say it's fun. To play with all those guys, and all those guys doing a good thing right now. You're right behind them. I would just say it's definitely cool. It's like a nice experience just to know like that's what I came from, and that's what like we built in this pipeline of DBs that's all coming out of this school. Pipeline of defensive players that's all coming out of this school, and it's fun because nobody think a Power Five or group of five team can do that. We went to the playoffs. We won a couple championships in the American. Nobody thought we can do that, so it's definitely fun.
I love it, man. I love it. And I definitely want to hear a little bit of the background of that secondary because, like I said, those names that you have played with, and it's honestly given you a great perspective because you've been able to play inside of the nickel, outside corner. It's really added to your versatility a ton. Flash me back to the last couple of years before this past year as far as playing with Sauce, playing with Kobe, and your ability to play in the nickel and be a really good player, obviously, inside.
Playing with all those guys was fun. Everybody knew their role of the defense. Everybody knew what they had to do. One, like you had to get somebody lined up. You got to get him lined up. Don't worry about your own job. All you had to do was worry about one job and getting the job done. So it was definitely fun playing with those guys. It was like a brotherhood. We all had the right chemistry, and we all just we all made the best of what we can do.
And I love the perspective working a little bit more inside, right? Because on outside, you're talking about a lot of times you guys played a lot of man coverage, right? So it's like lock that guy up that's right on the other side of you. But what is the perspective of playing in the nickel? Maybe seeing things a little bit more from an inside out perspective. Does that help you at all?
I would say nickel and corner is two different things to me. For me, for other people, they say the same thing. I feel it's two different. I mean, you covering somebody, but nickel, you more of you making tackles. You might be in the blitz a little bit here and there. You definitely got to cover them little fast slots that can run around a little bit more. But I would say just playing both positions, they just help me because now I'm more versatile and I can play literally anywhere on the field in the back end.
Yeah. And how did you feel like your game took a step forward this year, Arquon? Because obviously you played a lot more outside than what you had the two previous years. How do you feel like your game really evolved as a senior playing on the outside exclusively?
It helped me see a lot more things from being outside than inside. You just see a lot more from being out there because you're in the field so much and you literally can see everything again. There's only you and one guy right there and everything's inside of you. So you can really see what formations, if the running back is deep, short, or is he aligned the same level? You can see a lot more. So I feel it helped me see the game more.
And I know in practice, you're obviously playing against a lot of scout team offense, right? Being the first team defense. But the last couple of years, man, you guys have had some crazy wide receivers, by the way, right? You talk about Alec Pierce and what he was able to do as a rookie with the Colts. Two guys this year, man, and Trey Tucker, who's a really speedy, dynamic slot-type player, a little bit smaller, but he can really move in space. And then Tyler Scott, who's just a incredibly explosive, twitchy player that can play a little bit inside and out. What has it been like being able to play against those different types of body types and different types of skill sets at wide receiver for Cincinnati? Because I feel like they probably prepared you really well on a week-to-week basis of what you see on Saturdays.
No, they definitely did because you don't get nobody that's faster than Tyler or Trey, first of all. And you don't get nobody like AP, somebody that can run fast and jump up and go get the ball. You don't really get them in type of people. like that. So they definitely prepared us for every week that we had a game.
Yeah. And you playing a little bit in the nickel. I know, more than often than not, you're playing against those Trey Tucker types of players, right? But also you guys had a really good tight ends coming out this year in Josh Wiley, who's, obviously has the 6'6" frame, 240 plus pounds. What makes him special, Arquon? Just kind of seeing him in practice, maybe occasionally, maybe in one-on-one situations. What makes him such a tough player to match up with?
Him and Lenny T. They both two special guys. If you get them on a one-on-one with a safety, I think they might win. They most likely 9 times out of 10 they're gonna win that one-on-one with the safety, and then they go get extra yards because it's hard to tackle them. It's hard to tackle them guys. They're so big. They 240 plus.
Yeah. Yeah, no, man, they are massive dudes. I can't forget about Leonard Taylor, man. Unfortunately, I'm a Notre Dame supporter, man, and he broke my heart in that last play of the game a couple years ago on that last drive, man. Kind of sealed it. Leonard Taylor, very good football player, to your point. I want to really get into a little bit of the draft process, Arquon, because I know it's been a lot of movement, right? And again, East-West, Combine, Pro Day, a lot. But my last question, just kind of specifically about Cincinnati, is more about what Wisconsin can expect out of Luke Fickell. Obviously, him moving over this offseason. What is it about Luke Fickell that gives you optimism that he's going to be able to turn Wisconsin back around? And what makes him such a special coach, I guess, is my main question.
You see what he did for Cincinnati. He turned us around. He turned the whole program around. So I think Wisconsin's getting a great coach. On and off the field, he go make sure you get your job done. He go be in your face a little bit, but it's all for good reasons. And y'all definitely, Wisconsin is going to win games.
Before we continue on with this video, I just want to tell you folks about an exciting new partnership that we have with this channel with Underdog Fantasy. Ever since I joined, I've been having so much fun. There are so many different exciting games that make watching games during the offseason more exciting. I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but it has made it way more entertaining since I found Underdog Fantasy. And my favorite game to play so far, which I think you should try out, is Pick'em. It is so easy to play. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. Underdog keeps it simple with their easy-to-use website and mobile apps. Pick between 2 and 5 players to fill out your Pick'em slip, get every pick right, and take home some cold hard cash. Use code HACK, H-A-C-K. Hack, like the name of this channel. Use code HACK to get your first deposit doubled up to $100 by Underdog. Go sign up. You won't regret it. You're going to have a blast. Check out Underdog Fantasy. I also want to tell you folks about our other recurring sponsor that we have on this channel, that being BetOnline, betonline.ag, which is all the updated odds, news, and anything for sports betting. It's my go-to source for when I want to be betting specifically on games. I love betting on college basketball or the NBA, especially, again, during the offseason. Always looking for more fun ways to be focused in on some of these other sports. It's betonline.ag and use promo code BELIEVE50. It's promo code BELIEVE50 to get 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
For sure, man. And so let's go step by step here. I'll start with the East-West Shrine Bowl, because obviously out in Las Vegas where, I really love what Eric Galco's doing with that game, man. Really a lot of talent, especially this year, that was able to get out there. What was that experience like, man? Just getting out to Vegas and competing against some of the best in the nation.
I would say it was different because, you used to be in the locker room with all guys, but then you get in the locker room with a bunch of other guys. I mean, that's what it's like going to the NFL. You go into a new locker room with a totally different new group of guys. So it's like it was different at first, but then we all got to making jokes and stuff like that. Then it became like a regular locker room. So it was still fun.
Yeah. And what was the experience as far as, were you playing all over the place a little bit? Were you playing some outside, playing some inside? And just how do you feel like you did overall from an on-field perspective during that week?
I feel like I did good. I showed my talent the right way I was supposed to. I played a lot of man coverage out there when we did one-on-ones and stuff like that in practice. They let me play a little bit of nickel and a little bit of field and boundary. No, field corner and nickel. So I was a little bit in both spots. So I felt good what I showed out there.
And obviously the big sell to that game, on top of doing the on-field work, is you get to meet with a lot of NFL decision makers, a lot of NFL scouts that are at the game. What were those conversations like at that event specifically, as far as just being able to sell yourself and really kind of, I guess, dig into fit and, just kind of get to know them on a personal level?
I felt like that was an important part with all the interviews from at the East-West and at the Combine, from talking to all the coaches and stuff like that. They really get to see who you are, who they get to ask all the questions about how you grew up, what you like to do outside of football, any trouble, anything like that. They really get to find out who you are. So I feel like there's really nothing to find out about me. I'm the same guy on and off the field. I'm really not a big person that really causes too much drama. I'm laid back, play the game mostly all of the day. Really laid back. So I feel like I with all the interviews and stuff like that, I did good with that phase of it too.
And I love the event in Indianapolis. You kind of hit on the 2023 NFL Scouting Combine. It's such a awesome event from a spectator perspective, right? Because you get to see you guys running around and being great athletes. But for you guys, man, a little different of a perspective, right? Because it's just people always talk about the on the field work, but you're meeting with the media, you're meeting with teams, you're doing the medicals, you're waking up super early every day. How was that experience just down in Indianapolis for you?
It's definitely different from what everybody else thinks about it. You getting up early. You got meetings. You got not meetings, but you got medical. You do got meetings, but that's at night. So you got medical stuff through the day. You got to make sure you're eating. I mean, they provide the food, but sometimes it might not be what you like. So you got to make sure you're eating the right stuff. You got to make sure you're getting protein shakes in. It's just a whole bunch fitting into like 4 to 5 days. So, I mean, it's the fun part is getting on the field and being all around with the guys, hyping each other up. But the medical parts, the interview process, all that part, that's a rough part right there.
Yeah, man, it's a daunting process for sure. And let me ask you, man, because getting to Indianapolis, I guess first and foremost, training for the event from the combine prep and all that great stuff. Where were you training, and what was it like just to be back in town? I don't know how much you guys intersected with guys like Ivan Pace was there, or Josh Wiley and Tucker and Scott that we kind of talked about. But what was it like just seeing a couple of your Cincinnati guys, maybe after not seeing them for a couple months?
I trained in Florida at this place called Perform. It's out in Davies. It's a good spot. I actually liked it. I liked the spot I trained at. I really didn't. Me and Javon Hicks trained at the same spot, so that was good. So I already knew him when we went over there. But going back to what was the question you asked? Where did I see those guys?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw them too much, because I know some days position groups intersect with others. But was it just like seeing some of the Bearcats again?
I seen Ivan again when we was out there, because we was only like an hour apart, so we got together a couple times. But going back to pro days when I got to see everybody, and I was like, all right, cool. Now this the locker room I'm used to being in. This the locker, like we all know each other. We all know like how to joke around, how to play around and stuff like that. So that was a cool experience getting back to pro day and being with all the guys and watching everybody show their talent too.
Yeah, man. And a little bit of another perspective is not only do you get to see all the guys going through the draft process. I know it's different coaching staff that are obviously at Cincinnati now, but you also get back with some of your guys that are returning to school as well next year, right? The future prospects that we'll be talking about in very near future here, obviously on this show. So what was it like just being back with like the complete team atmosphere? And how do you feel like the pro day just went overall as far as the on the field and being able again to showcase your talent a little bit?
I would say on the field, the pro day, everybody did great. Everybody came out, did their thing. Everybody was prepared. Everybody did what they had to do. And what I say for that new team that's coming in, that's the new guys, not new guys, but the team that's there now. I think they're gonna be really good this year. The locker room seemed like it was a good vibe when I walked in every time. There wasn't no really bickering going on. It was just a lot of playing, a lot of the guys being the guys. That's it. So I think they're gonna be a tight group, and they should have a great year this year.
Love it, man. I love it. So now kind of moving forward here, Arquon, I mean, we're talking about top 30 visits, team workouts, like all that kind of scene. What are some team visits that you have scheduled, or some top 30s? Like who are you going to be talking to over the next few weeks from a team perspective?
Really, I don't know yet. I talked to a bunch of teams at the Combine. I talked to a bunch of teams at the East-West game. I'm just sitting here waiting patiently just to see what all comes in, and I'm just letting the pieces fall where they fall.
I love it, man. I love it. So now kind of looking forward to that day, because I mean, we're only a few weeks away, like I said before, but I guess my first question as we kind of wind down is just how much of a dream has this been? How long has this been a dream for you, man, as far as potentially playing professional football and being a football player at the next level?
I'm playing football since the age of like 5 or 6. So football has always been like my sport. My mom took me out of basketball when I was younger, fouled out too many times, was too aggressive. So football has always been my main sport. So just continue playing is a blessing. So hopefully we're praying that I can get to the next level, and we just letting the chips fall where they fall, so I can continue playing and just continue playing the sport that I love.
And my last question is about the support system that you have. You know, your family, your friends, everyone that's been kind of along for the ride for you. Looking forward to that draft day, you know, and kind of getting together with the support system and everything. Just what are your plans right now as far as spending some time with the family, and how much have they meant, you know, throughout this process of helping you get to this level, man? Because not many people get here, obviously.
I would say the biggest person in my life that been helping me through all this is my mother. She the person that's always been with me, no matter what ups and downs. She always been on my side. So I'll say that's the biggest part. But we gonna do most likely we gonna have a draft party. We rent out an Airbnb, be around all the family, all the high school guys. Probably come over with me for a couple of days, and then we just have fun and just hopefully get that phone call.
I love it, man. I love it. So again, Arquon Bush, star defensive back out of Cincinnati, 2023 NFL draft prospect. We're just a couple weeks away from his dream becoming a reality. Arquon, I really appreciate you again, man. I know it's super busy this time of year, you know, finishing up with the training and the pro day and getting those meetings scheduled up, man. But thank you so much for joining the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.